Okay, just to get this out of the way right away, I'm not trying to discredit all sports or athletics, nor am I denying the ability of it to shape adults and instill the value of collaboration toward a goal and so on. I'm objecting to the mass commercialization of both. It's an incredible investment of time, money, social energy, and to very little reward. So let me start with a personal story from my high school days. My senior year of high school, for reasons that weren't clear then and aren't clear now, at one point we were asked as students to use as little paper as possible because they had run short of money and they weren't sure they had the money to buy more paper, which that was pretty dumb in itself. But at the same time, I mean literally the same term, the hockey team got a whole new set of new jerseys and all the other paraphernalia that go with being a member of the sports team. And I couldn't help thinking then and now, if they had the money to buy jerseys for the hockey team, why didn't they have the money for paper, which after all, we're students, that's what we're there for, right? That's the kind of thing that I'm objecting to, those utterly distorted values that go with too much emphasis on sports. And there are plenty of other reasons to object. The mindless statistics and the stupid pseudo-controversies as sports figures paid a lot of money get all lathered up over nothing, really, or just the stupidest of things. The Super Bowl is a perfect example of the utterly meaningless synthetic event. It's treated as if it were of cosmic importance, which, once done, has absolutely no significance whatsoever, except, of course, as data for number junkies to regurgitate in a pseudo-analysis for future gains. Now, as far as reasons to support sports, the most common is the opportunities argument, that organized sports provide opportunities for members of the working class or minorities, whatever, to work their way up the ladder to greater success. I'm not really convinced that's as true as people might want to believe, but I'd ask, is that really the most effective way to address the inequities of our society, by training a small elite to rise to the surface? Now, I will say one thing that is true of organized sports is that it's as close to a true meritocracy as our society produces. But in saying that, you also have to recognize that the only reason it can be is because it's based on a cut and dried notion of success. That's to say, winning or losing. And in turn, the terms for determining losing or winning are based on a set of rules that everyone understands going into it. And so, yes, within those very, very narrow and limited circumstances, it produces merit. But then merit of what kind? Because eventually the people who rise to the surface, what do? Well, they make more money, and potentially I suppose they could redistribute that money as they see fit. But they're not really adding much to society. Once they're no longer active participants in the game, what are they doing? The most convincing positive argument that I have read for organized sports is the Freudian idea of channeled aggression, which is to say that organized sports provide a controlled means for people to work out their hostility towards one another. Now, I can accept that. I think there probably is a fair amount of truth to it, but I really do wonder, is this something that we're willing to accept as a strong argument for the positive aspects of athletics, that basically it's a means of preventing us from killing each other? I don't know. Now, am I claiming to be immune to this? No, I'm not. I've been to football and hockey games where I've been cheering along with everybody else. But in a sense, that's my point. I'm certainly not generally inclined toward this kind of enthusiasm. And if I, like everyone else, gets worked up, it's a question of mob psychology, not of genuine enthusiasm for a particular event or even necessarily for the team. It's an us versus them scenario. And so, again, I'm not really convinced that as an argument that's really strongly in favor of athletics. At best, you're saying that this is a way of dealing with some of the more bestial aspects of human psychology. And of course, another aspect of mob psychology, the flip side of it, is the opprobrium that is likely to result from someone failing to cheer. For the person who is able to resist the dynamics of the moment, they're likely to be treated at best at distance by everyone else, or maybe actively victimized by the rest of the crowd. Finally, in closing, the cynic in me can't help noting the fact that there are few activities that are less athletic than watching organized sports on television, which is to say that if people really love sports, why don't they go out and play them instead of watching like a couch potato? So what I would say is if you want to prove how much you really love sports and how important they are, get off your ass.